Brother, you have the first question of the night.
Okay. My name is Marcus, and I'm acquainted with Mr. Hilder. My question is directed at Mr. Anthony Hilder. When I met you for the first time, you showed me a picture of
Give him a chance here and be quiet so Marcus can speak, please.
You showed me a picture of yourself in either South Africa or Zimbabwe, which was known as Rhodesia at the time. And you were kneeling over the dead bodies of either 8 to 12 black soldiers, and you had a big grin on your face.
No, I didn't.
I would like for you to explain to this audience, as some of your fellow white researchers have told me that you have murdered black people before in Africa. I'd like you to explain to this audience, what were you doing in South Africa, who were you working for, and what was the reason why you were standing over those dead brothers?
Okay, he's asking the question about my trip to Rhodesia. And this was during a time of war. I was acting as a journalist. I was brought out to Rusape, and at that particular time there was 20 individuals who had been killed, and I believe they were killed by Fantan. Fantan would be the equivalent of napalm. As a journalist, I was squatting down. I had my picture taken at that particular time. These fellows had some AK-47s. I was stating that it was a communist revolution, and that I was not in support, obviously, of that. The people of Rhodesia supported and elected and wanted Bishop Abel Muzorewa. They did not. They were not allowed to have that selection, but rather there was a forced election, and it was not by ballot, but rather by bullet. And I wasn't smiling. I was wincing a little bit because of the stench of the bodies in the southern African sun. I hope that answers your question. What?
Did you ever participate in the murder of any
No.
black people over in
not
South Africa? Because according to some of your other white researchers, you did.
No, I was not involved in that. I was engaged in a word war, and I went to Southern Africa. And by the way, I was when I got off the plane, and this was in Johannesburg, I was arrested by the South African police and held in Johannesburg. I am still persona non grata in South Africa because I was going to Africa to put up a plan for a United States of Africa which would recognize the tribal, linguistic, and racial nation states.
And we want you to please limit your question to just one. Just one question, please. Just one. One question.
Okay. Okay. It says, Anthony, every time you talk about the New World Order, why is it that they only out to destroy the black people? What's so about us that they have to get rid of?
Adolf Hitler wrote the book, The New World Order. This is not something that was introduced by George Bush. When I talk about they considered black people to be inferior and expendable, let's put it that way. So it's not just simply the extermination or elimination or culling of the black race. They want to reduce the world's population by about 80% eventually. So if we're talking about 5.5 billion people here, we're then talking about reducing the population by essentially 4 billion people. So it's not just the blacks that they want to reduce, it is whites and blacks or anybody who is in opposition to them. Okay, we're talking about a Cassius cartel. The Cassius cartel is basically white, and there's a few people in the Boule who go along with the program. So it's not all done by whites, but mostly.
Before the next question, there's a Ford license number 3TVF389. You're blocking someone in the handicapped parking space. Would you please move your vehicle? That is a Ford 3TVF389. Please move your car immediately. Next question.
Anthony, you said that the Masons, the Skull and Bones, and the Illuminati all worship the devil. Brother Khalid suggests that you deal with them like John Brown. I would like to ask you, how would you deal with these people who you say worship the devil?
Well, for freedom to live, they must die. I'll just put it as simple as that. They must die politically, physically, financially. We should not in any way support any of their businesses. We should have nothing to do with them. Yes, ma'am.
Before the next question, there's a BMW 3TND782 that's blocking the car that I just read off the license number. A BMW 3TND782. Please move your vehicle. Next question.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother Khalid Muhammad. Would you please comment on Geronimo Pratt, longest held political prisoner in the...
Our stand is with all black political prisoners and prisoners of war, Brother Sundiata Acoli, Brother Sekou Odinga, Brother Matula Shakur, and of course Sister Assata Shakur, who is in exile in Cuba, Brother Frankie Zulu Moore, Brother Malik Muhammad, who was my captain here in this city, and other political prisoners who are being held, members of the Africa family or the MOVE movement. And it was this month, May the 2nd, this month, I believe 1973. Let me make sure. No, it was May 2nd, 1973, that Sister Assata Shakur, Brother Zaid Shakur, and Brother Brother Sundiata Acoli, in the shootout on the New Jersey Turnpike with the state troopers there, where Brother Zaid was killed, Sister Assata was wounded, and then later locked up. But it was in November of 1979 that the Black Liberation Army freed Sister Assata Shakur. So we know that after the Black Liberation Army in November of '79 freed Sister Assata Shakur, we know that Ruchell McGee, we know that other political prisoners, Brother Geronimo and others, if we cannot get them out, and in truth and reality, we will not be able to get all of them out through the court system. We have to become strong enough that we go and liberate our political prisoners. That is the only way that they're going to really get out, most of them.
I have one question for Khalid. Are you accusing Louis Farrakhan of dealing with the devil when he deals with my friends Dr. Rob Strecker, Dr. Lynn Horowitz, Ralph Epperson, and William Cooper?
Now that's the kind of question that only a devil would ask. You see, we see the devil coming before the devil even gets here. What the devil is doing is realizing that he's no match for me. So he wants to put me in a situation where I would be openly at odds with my spiritual father. Are you accusing Minister Farrakhan? No, bastard, I'm not accusing Minister Farrakhan of nothing. And I'm not accusing you of anything. I know that you're the devil, and now every time you open your damn mouth, you prove that you are the devil here tonight. Want to create a problem, further exacerbate the tension between my spiritual father and I. Whatever is between my spiritual father, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and me, is between Minister Farrakhan and me. No devil has anything to do with that.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I wanted to say that I was offended when you gave credit. You know, you did this a few times tonight. That there are certain artifacts that come from our history and culture give credit to belonging to the Illuminati and the Masons. You did that with the Luxor, and you did that with a few other things. So I want to point out I am offended, because that's our history and culture. They took it from us. It started with us. The question I have, though, is I am
not they. First of all, let's straighten that out.
That's your opinion, okay? But anyway, my question is that, you know, the topic tonight was, is the white man the devil? And it seems to me that everything that you've said so far confirms that. And so I was wondering, where is your proof that the white man is not the devil? That's what I wanted to know.
Well, it is not only absurd, it's absolute insanity to even make the suggestion that any man or any woman is the devil because of, or they are evil because of their color. That is not only absurd, it is insane.
My question was...
Okay, only one question, ma'am.
It's the same question. He didn't answer it.
Okay.
Where is your proof that the white man is not the devil? The proof. Because, see, unless you can back it up, it's just rhetoric. And so I wanted to know, you know, could you...
I've heard a great deal of rhetoric tonight. Very little proof of anything. But the rhetoric has not been coming from me, but from Khalid Muhammad.